going to fail. I'll give you an example. You know, when the funk craze first hit up, like Charles was saying, you know, if Charles them, when they were coming up, Charles and George Dacon and co, you know, if they had not come up with what was it called? Burger Highlife.
Their version of funk and pop.
At that particular time, it would have been very difficult for them to, you know, ride along with the established bands that were there at the time that people had gotten to know. For instance, me, I was groomed in the CK Man's, the big band Highlife era. So up to today, when I listen to big band Highlife, I get my, you know, my kicks. But because they came up with something new and refreshing, you know, at the parties in England at the time, those were the songs we were playing. You know, the Echo Tibrofos, your songs, and that kind of thing. And the high life people still were there because they were for people who liked that sort of music to listen to at home. You understand what I'm saying? At home. And because it was a matter of buying CDs at the time, if you liked that sort of music, you would buy the CDs and it will help keep the people, you know, relevant because their CDs were being bought. If you pick an artist like Bob James shot to fame many years ago, but we in Ghana really got to know of Bob James in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, as a pianist. And Bob James, before he became a jazz funk advocate, was actually a traditional jazz pianist. He had his trio and things like that at the time. And we, at our age at that time, were not into that trio traditional jazz. We got hooked onto jazz through the funk jazz era.
Yep.
Bob James came, Grover Washington came, you know, because we were listening to bands like Kool and the Gang, the Cameos, the Commodores, the Mandrills, back in our time. Those were the bands we were listening to and we were playing funk. So when the jazz people adopted the funk into the jazz, it was something fresh for us, you know. And you follow Bob James from that time, and Bob James is still relevant today. Why is Bob James still relevant today?
Exactly.
I mean, his tunes have been sampled by
one of the most sampled acts all over the world.
Coming artists, and Bob James is still relevant. And Bob James is in his 80s, you know, but he's still relevant. So you can pose the question. Yes, and still active. He's still touring as we speak today. Currently, he's still touring, going on cruises and stuff like that, you know. Why is he relevant? He is relevant because the content he has is relevant content. You can't run away from the content. So
because his audiences are still alive.
Yes.
They die, eventually his memory will die out.
I don't agree.
Chief, I like the point you've just made.
I don't agree.
That the audiences are still alive.
You need it.
But he is making new audiences.
Exactly.
And also
as he
of
goes
the
along.
Sampled content that
of course.
Him to a young
you see, an artist samples Bob James.
He was even ahead of his
and
time.
you, Sadiq, you because you like your music so much, you ask, what's this? Where is this sampled from? When you get to know it's a sampled tune, and then you hear, oh, it's sampled from Bob James. Now, if you're a music lover, what do? You go and search Bob James, and you listen to Bob James, and he still becomes relevant because you like his stuff. So, George, I think that first and foremost, the music you produce must be quality.
Okay, that's it. Uncle Ken says must be quality. Charles, I'm coming to you, and there's a message for you from my brother Daniel Amwating. He's listening to us all the way from, I don't know whether now he's in Italy or Spain or Germany or.
He's supposed to be in France.
No, but the match they finished. They
scored in France.
No, he left France. Last time I checked, it was in. Yes, they scored them. Liverpool, they lose. You know, so now I don't know where he is.
He's working alone
He's working alone in Europe. We just pray he doesn't end up in Ukraine somewhere. This one says, please ask Uncle Charles Amwa, was color red his favorite color? in almost all his outfits on stage, and other times I used to see the color red featuring some way, somehow. Example, his shirt, his belt, his shoe, his trousers or pants. Charlie, Charles Amwa be legend though, and I followed him. Kudos to a legend. Please, what's color red your favorite color?
Not really. But I remember there was this lady at EMI. She would always say, "Put Charles in red." You know, I used to laugh, but for some reason she thought that I looked good on stage with red. I didn't know, but for some reason I don't know. So
red
there
is
were
good.
It's a striking color.
Don't worry, red is my favorite
I
color
don't
in a
know,
way.
so-
It's a good color.
Anyway.
But why do musicians fade? Because look, you have managed to sustain it. Guru has managed to sustain it. The new school, they know Guru. The old people, I mean, Guru has been around for a while. What? How many years? 15 years?
15.
Yeah, 15 years. That's quite a while. You understand? So why do musicians fade?
This is a very loaded question. Very, very loaded question. And I keep telling you, that's why I also quit coming to you. You see, you asked me such a question, and let me tell you this. To break it down,
The time is not enough.
we might need about 3 episodes to really
We can
get into
continue
this.
next week.
Because first and foremost, it begins with the songwriting. Why is Sewa Koto relevant today? Listen to the content of Sewa Koto. Each statement is a whole book. Each line. Anka nyen say yebre. Anka hovel is in kwa. Anka etio. If you break it down, each line is a whole book on its own. Why is Mansa Uma working? Why is Akoti Brofu working? Why is that the song from the Ramblers to the Hurus are working? Akwankwa Atia from Lidiodo is working. Ask yourself, all these songs.
And your
why
dance
are they
is working.
When a man loves a woman, why are those songs working? Listen to even the titles. The titles they give to the songs. The titles already sticks in your ear. When you take a pen and paper to write a song, the song titles already speaks on its own.
Oh, broad.
Then the lyrical contents. It must be like an everyday life. Everyday life. If you take Sisam Suba, for example, you grow until your dying day. Except you live it. You live in it. Then comes to the production, just as Ken said. What goes into production? The studio production, then the horn arrangements, the mixing, the mastering, the this, the that, and then the artist's image. You know, years back when you go to the record shop, you point to say, "Oh," immediately you see the record cover, you say, Papa, you ever mean the image catches you.
Yes.
Then the stage performance. Do you know what it takes before an artist to go and perform live? Somebody just met me out there and said, "Uncle, your bobo should be a 4 months time. You say do come. Oh, so your carpet band be home. I'm saying a carpet band. Maybe if they are not my kind of musicians.
Yes, exactly.
He has no idea what it takes for an artist to have a band. The preparation. I take about 6 months, minimum 6 months to rehearse with my band. The mixer guy has to be there so that he knows when the guitar solo is going to be played. But I see in Ghana sometimes the guy finishes playing the guitar solo before they push the faders.
Yeah.
The mixing has to be there. The engineers has to be there. The lighting guys has to be there. So when the submit of starts, the whole place is dark. Then the list, and it takes about 6 months to a year to prepare for such concerts. Seriously, we joking. Now put the songwriting and all these things down. I've spoken about the image. There are no systems and structures in the music industry in Ghana. Why are you going to perform? But if the artist could perform, let's say, 2-3 times in a week, that's where even you experiment with some of the new songs that you've written. As you're performing your hit song, you experiment with the other song. So when you go back to the studio, you can say, okay, let's make these changes here and there. We don't have all these places. It is a Yanya Ghana Music Award. That's it.
Baby,
you never perform. Or unless MTN or whoever is organizing something. How do you record an album without live performances? How does the government encourage businessmen, give them tax-free holidays to establish places for live performances? And you want a tourist to come, he goes to Cape Coast and watch the castle and that's it? He goes away with his money? Go to Switzerland. I used to perform in Switzerland. It's only hotels and pubs You perform from one place, and you spend your whole money. You spend 1 week, they spend your whole money. If I go to Cape Coast, where am I going to spend my money? Watch Cape Coast Castle, and that's it.
Kakum Park.
And Kakum. So all these things need to be played. The proper system and structures for the music industry has to be there. It has to be there. The media, and even if I take the issue of Payola, if I take now let me give you why I again. Let's talk about Payola for a minute. Why is it that in those countries Payola is a criminal law? Because, for example, if you have 100 artists and only 10 can pay Payola, it means 90 of them
90 are dead,
are jobless. They have wives, they have children, they have mothers to take care of, there are other families to take care of. So if one artist has about 2 or 3 people, multiply by 90. And if they are jobless and so, they might take drugs, they might get into prostitution, they might be criminals, all kinds of things. That becomes a burden on the society. That becomes a burden on the society. Now you look at all these aspects. First and foremost, music is one of the tools that depicts the people, the culture and the traditions of the people. Now, out of these 90 musicians, they are jobless and so only 10 pay. Now, supposedly, if the other 90s are working, how much money can they make in a week? For example, each of them are performing, let's say, 3-4 gigs a day. Wouldn't they be paying tax? You remember the time we were playing at Tiptoe Gardens? The internal revenue used to come over there.
Yeah.
They'll come and collect the taxes.
Yes.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
In Kumasi, wherever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we are talking about taxation.
They still do.
The jobs are not
They
there.
still do. They still do.
So if you bring back all these things, people are working. And guess what? There was this people. Sorry. When there's a live show, people sell wapi, chewing gum. There's these young guys that will be selling all this kind of stuff. Somebody will be cooking rice, food, kelewele or whatever throughout the entire night. The taxi drivers will be working throughout the entire night. The breweries will be making their money, and the government will be taxing all these various people. That's true. The government will be taxing all these various people. You understand? And I remember those days, people from the ministries will come and there was something we call the afternoon jump. At 3 p.m. they will come to Tiptoe Gardens or to Watto or Metropole, dance for about an hour, and go back.
Working day.
Wow. Release their stress.
Just Watto was open at 12.
Wow.
12.
It means
12.
you point those days.
By 1 o'clock.
So your lunch break, you go for your lunch break at Watto.
There'll be no place for you to. There's no even space for you to.
Wow.
Just get it down time. And then you come and finish in the evening.
Afternoon dance.
Yeah, make a
afternoon jump.
Allah.
So today I can't them my age.
I
So
swear.
you tell me that we are playing.
So now they say, okay, for all these people to function, for government to make money from all these people, pay their taxes, and vibrant entertainment industry and all that, let's pass this Payola law. Now comes the interesting part of the whole thing. Let's say, for example, George works with multimedia, and for some reason he's less paid. He doesn't make more money. That's the reason why he's taking Payola. So we can create a system whereby if Guru is performing, is touring, let's say Takrady, he comes to multimedia, sign a contract with multimedia. For out of every ticket, let's say 100 Ghana cedis, multimedia gets, let's say 20% or 30%.
or 10% or whatever.
And then out of that 30%, George gets 10%.
Oh, okay.
So why would George then take Payola?
Okay, that makes sense.
So when the train gets to Kumasi, the Kumasi radio stations of Joy FM also
they take over.
So they all be making money. Guru will be making money. Multimedia will be making money.
The DJ will be making money.
The DJ will be making money. And the DJ knows that every weekend be our 2-3 shows be our or them. And Coca-Cola will be sponsoring. And then the Minister of Finance will put laws and measures in place whereby they get their returns back, the taxes returns. If we don't put the system in place, now you see why. Then you create laws like Payola as criminal laws, and then so these are things we need really.
So these are some of the things that kill artists.
Exactly.
That make it impossible for some of them to survive, and they fade out quicker.
And then another thing too, what Berry Gordy will call power, fame, and fortune. In Ghana, when the artist sees himself on TV and radio, will arrive.
Asa.
Or we power, fame, and fortune.
Mami abna measure me.
Oh no, he on the take bill, no one in for baby. And he's drinking here and there. He's the whole night he's not working on his songs, he's not spending time in the studio with friends here and there, and that and that and that, and then he gets into trouble. Every radio station, Okasa baby, he gets into trouble on social media. He will say, and always in trouble. Power, fame, and fortune.
Another thing that kills them.
Another. As for that one, there is a serious
generational.
Solid. Let me go to the phone line. I've got our brother Nathaniel on the line who wants to contribute. He says he likes the things that we are saying here, so he wants to contribute. Manche.
No.
Bao Sunday.
Thank you. I think that any person in the space of policy formulation, direction, and execution should pay the legendary Charles Amoah for the kinds of contributions that he's made for this show or on this show. I got off the radio a few hours ago, and because of my movement, I for some reason have caught certain portions of the presentation that Charles Amoah has made. So the big question we're asking ourselves here, George, is what have we done as a collective within this arts and entertainment industry to protect creativity and to allow the people who create content to make the most out of it? Look, I was in Cairo, Egypt a couple of weeks ago, okay? And to my surprise, an event that was being organized, or an event that had been paid for by a Ghanaian, had an element of a Ghanaian, keyboardist stroke, bandsman stroke artist who wanted to perform at the party. And guess what? The hotel said that there was a law in Egypt that barred any foreigner to just come in directly, to just come and perform just like that. And that the hotel had to, yes, George, they had to pay an extra tax on the performance that the foreigner was coming to do there. And my question
wait, hold on. Was this a commercial event or a private event?
This was a private event, George.
Wow.
A private event. And so you see, we're sitting here, we've opened our market, all in the name of all of these trade treaties and all of that, and we've opened up our market and we've made it a fertile ground for artists who are not known to become known within the shortest period of time. And the biggest beneficiary of all of this is our brothers and sisters from Nigeria. And Joe, the question you need to ask yourself is, how receptive is the Nigerian market to what we produce and the people from our side of town? It is sad. George, you and I were on a set a few days ago.
Yeah.
And when you left us, we had a conversation about the same subject which is being discussed today. And we're asking ourselves the very simple question: what is it that we are also benefiting from the markets that we're contributing to so actively or so unconsciously? And the question, the answer is zilch. Zilch, George. And so we need to start looking at how we can create good content, sustainable content around all of these things so that we can make the money. Look, Kennedy Japan, you can love him or hate him, but I want this to go on record. I do not agree with everything that Honorable Kennedy Japan says, but if there's anything I love him for, and I love him for to bits, is the fact that he's an amazing entrepreneur, and some of the ideas he churns out are wonderful. Recently, you heard him say that he wanted to stand for president. Well, some may think that, this guy, it's a laughable idea. However, one of the things he said, which was very instructive, was that we have to start our development on the tourism industry. Somebody once again may think that it is a joke. But once again, let me just refer to Cairo, Egypt, that I visited a few weeks ago. Look, what do they have? They've got the pyramids and they've got the Nile. Only the pyramids and the Nile. I don't even want to go into the museums and all of those other places or all of those other monumental, structures that they have in their country. And George, they are milking it like nobody's business. Unfortunately, I don't immediately have the statistics to back all of this, but I'm just looking at I'm just doing immediate, numbers and what I see physically from the period that I was there. The people who had come from North America, from South America, from Asia, from other parts of Africa. And you're asking yourself, if this continues for the next week, the next month, do you know how much in terms of, foreign exchange is going to come into this country?
Yeah.
So, George, it's a very simple thing. Let me just quickly wrap this up. We need to create good enough content around the monuments that we have in this country. And they include, the Cape Coast Castle, the Elmina Castle, and all of that. So that when somebody wants to visit Ghana for 1 week, they know that they're driving into the central region or to the western region, and they know that I'll do X, X, and Y on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I would have made the most out of my visit to Ghana. Away from that as well, we need to start thinking about how receptive other markets are being to what we are doing. If we're able to answer that question, which is no, we're not making anything from them, then we need to start thinking about how we ourselves can create the sub-economy that can help our own content and can help us to develop our own selves. It's as simple as that. Because Guru should be able to sit in this country, here in Ghana, and make good enough money.
Solid.
Who should sit right here from the kinds of accounts that the legendary Charles Amwa has said. We should be able to sit right here in this country. Floyd Mayweather Jr. stayed in America and became a global phenomenon. So we should be able to see that and do that. And our brothers and sisters from Nigeria have given us the way. They have shown us the way. Go to DSTV now and go and see the number of Africa Magic channels and tell me how many of them are not Nigerian.
Thank you very much, Nan.
I think
the point is very clear. Thank you very much. And that's my brother Nathaniel Ato, right here with us at the Multimedia Group. They call it. Before then, you heard Puli Shilling Killing. I love that one. The station is Joy 99.7 FM. Check with your time. It's 5:30, some 30 more minutes. Then we are here. Our WhatsApp line is 055-111-1997. A Showbiz A to Z. Proudly brought to you by Ghana's most reliable mobile telecommunications company. That's MTN. And also special thanks to High Five Chocolate from Casapreco Company Limited. Yep.
Facebook na kegu. From my top to my job, be Versace. You be bend down boutique, Mr. Cratchy. So you use juju, I get this. You use voodoo, I'm the biggest. If you God don't bless you, borrow one. Anybody who go try you, prophet one.
Now there's 100 more reasons to buy airtime with MTN Momo. You're probably asking why. Well, I'll tell you why. It's really simple. Momo is giving you back 100% bonus whenever you buy airtime from your wallet. Now that's 2 times the airtime you need. You can also schedule your airtime purchase of any amount daily, weekly or monthly by just dialing star 170 hash option 3 and follow the process, or simply dial star 170 star 311 hash, and that's gonna give you a superb airtime purchase experience. So whether you're scheduling tomorrow's airtime today or buying airtime when you need it on your star 170 hash or star 170 star 311 hash, you get 100% bonus airtime, so you can make twice as many calls and catch up with just only on MTN Momo. Now this Father's Day is going to be quite exciting right here on the multimedia channels. I go to all fathers repping the real daddy code, which says be daddy, be present. Now this year your superstation Joy 99.7 FM is embarking on a campaign to celebrate fathers between ages 22 to 45 who are present in the lives of their children the best way they can be. Now these fathers are attending antenatal care, taking their children for weighing, mother care, shopping, guiding the kids through all their developmental stages. And here's how you can be a part of the campaign. Simply share photos of some of those amazing moments with your children with us via WhatsApp console on 055 1111 Tell us how important and how gratifying it is to be involved and hands-on in your children's lives. And finally, the most importantly, a message stating your specific real daddy code with all fathers out there. Real daddy code, be daddy, be you. Mine daddy code is pretty simple. Guide them, don't gag them. Let them talk. Pentecost A is a religious broadcast program sponsored by the Church of Pentecost. Comes your way every Monday at 9:30 p.m. with the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche. It's only on Joy 99.7 FM. Make sure you catch it this Monday. Yes, Apostle Nyamiche is going to bring you life transforming truth that nourishes the soul, ignites passion, and restores hope in the nations. The Church of Pentecost, we're possessing the nations for the Lord. Can I get an amen? So we've heard from Uncle Ken, we've heard from Uncle Charles Amwa. I'm gonna bring Sadiq Abdullah Abu into the conversations. Then we'll also hear from Chief Momen and Guru. Why do artists fail? Sadiq, the question is yours. So, I mean, you have also worked with a lot of artists, and we've met this country. We know. Let's open Sadiq's microphone, please.
Uncle Ken is giving us some insight.
Some insight, some solid history.
Okay, top time.
If you legend,
super legend.
Smooching the inside.
No, this one will tell you. This one is meant for off air.
So why did you put it on?
I'm just whetting the appetite. Godfather.
Uncle Ken, you want to share with the listeners?
No. This one
exclusive.
Sadiq, but this conversation for Anna.
Why do artists fade? I mean, from your experience, you've encountered many of them. Why do you think they fade?
Well, a number of factors. I think some of the reasons have been detailed by Uncle Ken and Uncle Charles.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean the creative process in terms of writing the song is but very important. But we also need to, this point that Uncle Ken has always said, when I say it's a generational thing, and he sums it up in times and seasons as well. Of course. I've always made the point here, at every point in time, the big active users or patrons of entertainment experiences are always between a certain age. Active, and they are huge. The activity with the music or their patronizing of the entertainment experience is what keeps the on trend. It's usually between 16 to 24. They are the active and they are big. Extended of that active user base is others as well between 24 to about 34. Now, from your late 20s going, you begin to become passive because obviously life happens to you. There's a number of times. So if you used to spend a lot more time using the music within a certain particular age, when you are growing and the music life begins to happen to you, it begins to decrease and everything, Now, these active users, at every point in time, you would have a generation within the 16 to 24, and you would have some that will grow out of it. Now, when there's a new active user base, their orientation, their lifestyle, their demographics, and a number of things indicate their preferences and everything. These people would also have their own heroes and their own stars. In fact, even the language and everything that you factor into your songs and everything will continue to, it will determine if it appeals to them or resonates to them or not. That explains why in certain market, for instance, when you are probably aging as an artist and the number of things is changing, your mindset and stuff like that, they like to engage a lot of songwriters, younger songwriters that understand the themes of the day and will continue to write things for them. Uncle Charles spoke about how even the titling of the song and everything, it's written to achieve a certain effect with that active user base and the intended effect for the future. So all these things are factored in. Now, when you actually even look at it now, when I ask you who are the top guys, you mentioned the three usual suspects, Sarkodie, Chatawale and everything, but instructively in the last 2 to 3 years, their numbers as against the new kids on the block, the young ones, has been declining.
That's true.
The new kids on the block are because there's a growing Gen Z audience who are active users of the music today, and they are heroes for today that are coming. There's the Black Sherrys of the world, the Camidos of the world, the Kiddies and the Kwame Eugenes, and they are big. So it's the activity with the music in terms of what you're streaming, what you're listening to, and everything that's actually even today dictating what you're actually having to play on radio, because you need to harness a big user base for advertisers. So that particular whole generational thing and how you move out of it and everything also plays a part in it. And today even, it's become very, excuse my language, very crazy. Previously, where we're discovering there was a generation where between that particular period, for us, where we're discovering our music was radio. But today, for these Gen Zs, they are discovering their music from TikTok. And Trailer. Because they are stuck there. Because these were born. Now, the Gen Zs, mind you, are the people that were born between 96 till now. So, if in 2000 you're in Legon, your brother in Peking, where they born him, by now, he's 22 years. He's an active music user. He spends more time listening to the music, bantering on the music, who is hot, who is not, even than you. Even you that's actually even working with music. Because they've got a lot of time. He's listening online because he was born in a tech. He was born in his tech savvy. Because by the time he was about 10 years, he probably would have started using. My son is 5 years. He takes my iPhone. He goes inside.
They know where to go.
YouTube
they know where to go.
They knows WhatsApp.
They know where to go.
Yeah, so he's growing up from a certain generation that is imbibing this. By the time, look, there was a time Medical came on the show and we asked him whether he's released a song on a CD before. He said no. You remember?
I remember.
Late 20s. The likes of Black Sherif and Co hadn't actually even released a song or given a song to a DJ on a pen drive.
They don't even know.
Because per their generation, he does the song right straight from the studio. He can airdrop it to his MacBook. From the MacBook, immediately he sends it to the aggregator. He sends it to the aggregator, who schedules it across all the streaming or the platforms and everything, and then that's it straight. If he has to give it to you, he can send you a link straight. Just take it, download it immediately. He can actually even airdrop it on his phone to you and all of those things. So this Gen Z audience is totally different, and if you are not in tune with them, you've got to find a way. So I'm glad Uncle Ken mentioned was it the jazz artist? Was it Bob James or something? That's why I intentionally asked that, Uncle, is it also because of the sampling? Because sampling has a way of extending your relevance. Burna Boy has been sampling Angelique Kidjo a lot. He's been sampling Fela a lot. D'banj also sampled Fela. A number of them. So for those of us that probably didn't grow with Fela, at every point in time when you listen to D'banj, there will be a lot of talkability around how he sampled a Fela song and everything. It takes you back. Then there's, in fact, Burna Boy's come back massively from about 2018. A lot of the things you hear, if you play the song, they'll show you the particular Fela song. So it got a lot of younger following that Burna Boy had to also fall in love with some of those fellas and everything. Again, in the more matured market, beyond sampling, movies find a way to extend, and that's why the record labels do not play with their catalog. The publishing part of it. because they always look. They have people whose job it is to actually pitch to studios music, a catalog of music that they can use in their movies, and sometimes there's an intent about on that, because today when I'm watching, you know that the South African jazz songs,
the one you sent
I
me.
said, do you know how I discovered it?
How did you discover?
There's a series
the
on
artist?
Netflix.
Okay, yes,
called
you said.
Savage Beauty.
Right.
South African. This at every point, and they had the scoring was done so right that at every point in time when I'm listening and the scene and the scoring it matched. All I did was Shazam. Then he introduced me to the artist. I go, I find out more, and then I kept on checking and finding artists, and I was like, no, this song's Uncle Ken will love it, and I said it to him.
Yeah.
So there are various different ways to extend it, but you need the insight. You need to understand where you are today. Often it's more mature market because the insights on how to enable and extend the reach sat with the labels. They them own because they are investing in the catalog. So they found a way to ensure that the catalog they've invested in, which is their property, because mind you, if they invest in 10 artists, it's only probably one that will be able to recoup the investment. The other 9 artists, unless they give them amnesty at a certain point in time, they've got to recoup the investment before you begin to earn on the music. Of course, you earn your royalties and stuff like that. But for the label, even if they do not make the money on the 9, they understand one thing: what they've produced, they own the economic rights to it. Is their property. So they'll put in extra strategies to ensure that these songs continue to stay relevant, so they can make their money back. And in so doing, there's a byproduct that enables the talents, because the understanding stays there. But in markets where you have a lot of independent artists, unless independent artist is that insightful to take a long ball. My father says long ball. Learn to play, because when I was coming up in this, my father used to do that thing with me. He says, learn to play long balls. He continuously asks you, 5 years from today, where do you want to be? 2 years from today, where do you want to be? So I learned to think of things in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And so when you think about it and you see the line, you have that line of sight, you begin to plan. So you come to probably realize that by 35 or 37, if I'm probably maybe I probably may not resonate to the Gen Zs like what's it called? Maybe Black Sheriff.
Might, yeah.
But at that point, what do I do?
So you have to adapt
Yeah,
very
so you
quickly.
begin
So
to-
that's one of the reasons. Okay. Yes. No, yes, he's done. I'm going straight on to Guru. Guru,
Because
I mean, you are a
No, but
musician.
I wanted to say
You know.
something. Let me say.
Oh, okay.
no, he didn't understand what I
No,
said.
you didn't. That's why you didn't
I said,
understand.
Ehani
Ochekpa.
Ochekpa.
Yeah.
That's your field.
Yes. So you are.
You know, and I have learned a lot from Baba
Yes.
when it comes to the digital field, you know, and the way the methods that
That let me bring Guru into the conversation. We're running out of time now. Guru, I mean, you are a musician. A lot of the people that you started with 15 years ago are not here. Enough from sound. Why do you think it's so? And how have you been able to?
It's true, you know, this whole thing goes with a whole lot, and it's the lifestyle.
Okay.
Like what Sadiq was saying, it's all about projections, strategy, plans. These are the minor things.
Yeah.
But it comes back to the quality. You need to stay unique, different. You see, this side of the world is very competitive. Music, it became then they play like for pitch top. This is a serious business.
Yeah.
And it deals with serious people. Don't you can't mix this talent with family and friends. No, they don't even understand. And before you can grow from a certain stage or how to achieve a certain goal, you have to be consistent. And being consistent, it'll be easy.
That's right.
You need to be creative. You have to be ahead of your time. Like always project like 5, at least the minimum is 5 years, or project 10 years. Maybe I did a little bit of marketing when I was in university 2007. So most of the theories were done, and impacting it into real life, that's when I changed
the
I
game.
switched from school to just being on the field.
Yeah.
So we started with rap, started selling ourselves because there were no like any social media, and it was the early stages of it. Because I was here before Facebook came and the Twitters, and it was difficult. Now it took a guy to even to register my account.
Your account for you.
And that one self, they were this some. Why go put my name for here? And the guy was doing me good.
Yeah.
But funny enough,
Yes.
I took the whole logins and then started projecting stuff. And because that time people know they understand, we had like 2 million as social media activists on every platform, and even to get 500 people on
to follow you,
Facebook self, if your brothers and your sisters way they will start. And with the music side, it was so difficult in such a way that we weren't even projecting our content through it. But people, the real loved ones, started even going, having like owning. There were few, was it Android phones?
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy even logging into anything. So with me as an artist, I started impacting more on the grounds, building a certain core of fans. And that was when we're doing more of the bless the mics.
Okay.
I'll be doing. I'll be.
So you were making various appearances, like one of the things Uncle Charles mentioned earlier on.
Ours was on the radio.
Okay.
And with the grounds, it was different.
Yeah.
Because you be rapper, people have no one listen to you.
Yeah.
And you have to be more creative and know what the people want. Knowing that
you can
is
rap
the
about
major key. And after I was able to do all that, then the whole big tune came. That's Kasebo with Obrafo.
Yeah.
That also gave me another mileage. Like the masses started patronizing, looking for the brand guru. Then I started this whole journey in 2001. I recorded my first album in 2002.
Wow.
So if I'm to compare my music mates, it's Kwaukeses and Samini.
Yeah.
But I never had a chance to come out with an album or anything. So I have to change the whole strategy. Now, fast forward. Then 2010, I realized in the next 5-10 years, this whole game will change. So I have to start representing my culture in terms of the ingenious side of my Ghana music. Then I started implementing, bringing in new tunes of the conquest and everything. Start switching from the hip hop a little bit, because rappers just they rap on hardcore beats. After my trip to South Africa, I realized there was experience that I had about some performances. I was just rapping, then Diamond Licious just came on stage with some bouncy francophone vibe, and everybody was. They don't even understand the song, and he shut down the whole place. No.
But that's
on our own Diamond for Ghana here. So coming back, I was like, okay, with the hip hop, we will do it, but I must find a way. Then I came out with La Paz Toyota. Gave me a big intro and shut everywhere down. Even in Nigeria, it took like 8 months
on the
consistent on the chart, and that was one of the few lessons I had. And I realized this game, you have to be consistent, and being consistent, you have to find what the people would want.
What the people would want, then you serve it to them.
And looking at that, it's very challenging. Doing that takes a risk.
Yeah.
And when you change your style, you need big budget
to push it.
Else it kills you.
It kills you. That was a very solid point there. Let me bring Chief into the conversation. We're totally out of time, but let's hear you. Yes.
And our good friend Kalampa of UNESCO.
Yes, okay, what's he saying?
Okay. The work that UNESCO is doing, in supporting the culture and the creative industry.
Oh, great.
He definitely believes that Ghana's tourism is based on our culture, heritage, and creativity, and the investment needs to go into these areas to show up tourism. George, let me take it from a philosophical and probably an anthropological point of view.
Let's just come inside.
I swear.
Says what the musician's lifespan.
Yes.
Why do some talents fade? The truth about life is that all talent would eventually fade. There isn't enough.
I don't agree.
All talent would eventually.
No.
Let me make my point.
Okay, make your point.
All talents would eventually fade. Because immortality is not guaranteed to any person or any memory. That is just the real fact. Now let me take it. I'm building a point from anthropology, right?
Go ahead.
Pre-colonial times, culture was communally owned. So the musics for our festivals and our traditions was not by one person owned. It was by several people. So even that, we didn't have those artists who would cross over generations. Your generation will remember the person who composed it and all of that. That person may survive 1 or 2, but eventually, right now, if you ask us who composed these festival songs, nobody would know, because that's the way of culture. Post-colonial into modern times, we now have the tools to preserve, right? The tools of preservation are relatively new if you look at the lifespan of human memory with the emergence of technology. But as years go by, we are producing millions and millions into billions of content. The human attention span is not enough at any given moment to recognize all the brilliance through history. So just a few would always, rise up. And that's the point that Sadiq was making. That is a generational thing. It doesn't mean that the generations that produce music in a particular generation were not good enough or they didn't produce quality. A few of them would transition. Not everybody, because already this Gen Z is concentrating on their stars. They have enough attention span to focus on a few who may cross over, but eventually that crossover artist, after a couple of generations, everybody will forget them, even if we have how do you call it, tools of preservation. So my point is that yes, is indeed you can do your work to postpone or to extend your lifespan as much as possible, but eventually you will die off. And I'll give one example, using not an example, so there's a Disney animation called Coco that I love very much, inspired by the Mexican Day of the Dead. And the concept is that when you die and you transition to the land of the
other
dead,
side,
your soul is still alive.
Yeah.
So as long as people remember you, so your current family remembers you, they tell your story to the next generation, they probably remember you, so you stay alive. But once the last person who remembered you died, your memory is dead.
It's gone.
So once there are still people who remember these songs, some of us are still fond of, high life music, that Lumbes and co. His song will continue to ring. But with the passage of time, that number would decrease. And when we no longer have a lot of people who remember a particular artist, that artist will die from memory. So that's just my philosophical input.
Solid.
But by all means, let us do as much as possible to extend our lifespan.
I'm out of time, but we'll expand it maybe next week. Charles, let me come to you. So this new song, Simply the Best. Those of us who want to get it, where can we get it? How can we get it and all that? Yeah, because now we don't know where to buy CD anymore.
It's on all the digital platforms.
The digital platforms, okay.
Spotify,
okay.
Apple.
It's on Apple?
Everywhere.
Okay.
It's everywhere.
That's great.
And there's another one too. Not only the Simply the Best, it's another one too.
Yes.
Supernatural Thing as well.
Supernatural Thing. Good.
And the video is on YouTube.
Okay.
Simply the Best videos on YouTube.
Okay.
Just do you remember who had a hit Supernatural Thing?
Oh yes.
Back in the then he came. That's right.
Okay.
Some more songs on Boom Play.
No, they're there. No, Charles Samuel is a legend though. But gentlemen, I'll say thank you very much. Gentlemen, we're going, but very quickly. Look, we are this year for the first time. We are trying to bring some relevance to Father's Day. And man, I enjoy Mother's Day. Why not so?
I mean, why so? Why
not so?
Force? If you have to
we are not forcing it.
It means then it's not.
No, we are not forcing it. The Mother's Day thing, nobody forces it. There are things that we do because somebody takes initiative.
No, how did that happen?
That's the point.
No. So we are taking initiative. Nobody is forcing it. It's initiative.
Let's hear.
So we are, trying to celebrate that by basically just sharing your code. It's not like we are going to gather somewhere and party. Okay. Just share your real daddy code. Mine, for me, is very simple. Guide
Why
them.
Are you reading yours first?
Guide them. Guide them. Don't gag them.
Okay.
Guide them.
Okay.
Don't gag them.
So
Allow the children to speak.
So if you don't have a child, you are not allowed to comment.
Oh, you can comment too. If your dad, maybe something your dad shared with you. So Uncle Ken, let me start with you. What's your real daddy code?
No, I'm not going to comment because you know why? Because you Joy FM people said it is for only people up to 45 years. Discrimination above 45 years. Samara.
I agree with you, Uncle Ken. At least I stand with Uncle Ken.
Yes.
Uncle Charles, any real daddy code you want to share? We should push it.
The coalition of fathers above 45.
Sadiq, yes, your real daddy code.
What do you mean by the real daddy code?
Yeah, you know, what is it that you share with your kids or something that subtly you impart into them that you're using to guide them? Mine, like when I said Uncle Ken didn't understand why I started with mine, just to give you a guide.
No,
my number one principle is guide them, don't gag them. Allow your children to speak, but guide them on the right path.
I also do that. Allow them to ask a lot of questions.
Okay.
Do not like anybody shutting them down.
Yeah.
Asking questions
and arise and shine.
Yeah.
And we take a lot of work.
You take a lot of work. That's
particularly
solid.
on
That's good.
Sunday evenings. We take a lot. My Sunday evenings is always spent with them. And also there are a lot of content. I actually watch content with them.
Okay, that's good. Guru.
Hey, we have many dodo. Where's the visa?
You'll give them the time to grow. Charlie, gentlemen, thank you very much.
No, George, please, just before you go.
Yes.
I just got a text message from Ken Ashibe.
Okay.
And Ken says, I am so upset with Joy FM about the discriminatory Father's Day
fathers about 45.
We're in trouble.
Thing. It's ridiculous. Why do you
cut it at 45?
Cut it at 45.
What is cut
Just
45?
I think the idea, they said fathers from 25 to 45.
To 45.
Okay. I think the idea is that it is probably believed that
they are partnering
fathers
to their active
above,
users.
fathers above 45,
At least
usually,
60.
you see, when you cross 45, nyansa befie. So a lot of them are,
Don't try and defend this.
Again, let me help you. The bottom line is the big active users of Joy FM, obviously, 25 to 45. Extended audience is 45 to
To them.
upwards.
The show was produced by
to the 25 to
that show was produced by Philip Nye and Anita Tay. Thank you very much, Crispy. Everybody else who's Uncle Charles Samwa, thank you very much. Uncle Ken, thank you very much. Sadiq, thank you very much. Guru, thank you very much. And Chief Moment, thank you very much. I mean, it's been a great show, and I see so many of your messages. Let me see if I can take a few of them before we go. This one says, oh dear. This one says, Charles, so good to hear from you today. You've been a fan for many years, and you still are. I first met you on. I first met you one through your uncle, Mr. Ochri, District Director of Education at Djaso, Dichamso in the 90s. I was so fascinated by your hair then. I think it was Jerry Kells. Do you still have it on? How about Mr. Ochri, your uncle? Is he still around? Is he around? He's around. He passed. Oh, deepest condolence. Okay, and then this one says what's this one? The devil is a liar. Okay, this one says, my daddy code is be an example. Hi, George. Once again, you see, the main reason why Ghanaian musicians nowadays fade out is simple. Just as Uncle Charles is saying. One, there's no patience for the writing and whole production of the songs these days. Secondly, if it's about gospel music, there's no waiting on the Lord for the inspiration to make the songs, all because of today's trending. Please, when Dr. Alban did sing Hallelujah, I don't think there was any inspiration from anywhere. Everyone wants to trend, hence no patience for quality songs productions. Nene from Winneba sent that one in. Okay, so we're out of time. My name is Josh Quay. Special thanks. We also had Tracy and Ezekiel. Yes. And congratulations to Stone Boy, still at #1 with Therapy. Catch me again on Monday evening for another exciting edition of the Late Night Express. My name is George Quay.